Now, Disney's a stock I started a position in recently, right? And don't laugh at it, okay? It's a very small position, but I did start a position. It's $800, okay? And I'll be honest, the more I've looked at Disney, the more I'm like, do I actually want to build this into, a position that's tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars? And the more I've looked at it, the more I'm like, I don't know if I actually do. I mean, the company's very debt loaded, right? But you can say, okay, big deal. They got a million great businesses. But even some of their businesses are giving me some caution. When I look at ESPN, they're trying to cut a lot of cost on the ESPN side right now. I don't know what's going to happen there. Some of their TV networks, their movie catalog is not insanely strong right now. I'm even looking at things like this. Walt Disney World crowds vanish, parks at their emptiest in 10 years. Look at this. Data provided by Fox Business was touring plans showed how long guests had to stand in line on average for Disney's 4 parks in Florida and 2 in California. Decreased quite a bit on Independence Day when compared to the previous year. Those times, and I was trying to think, well, previous year was Independence Day on a weekend, and no, I believe it was on a Monday, the previous year, right? Those times, which calculates based on times available on Disney's apps, can often be a signal of big crowds the park is hosting. Hollywood Studios saw the biggest decline in its average posted wait time on July 4th, going from 44 minutes in 2022 to 18 minutes this year. So, I don't know, I was looking at some of that stuff too, and then also I'm considering this, and by the way, this is the reason this is so worrying is like travel's insane right now, right? It's still insane. Like, travel's a red hot sector. Listen to what the hotel operators are telling you, right? Listen to what all the Vegas hotels are telling you, the Vegas resorts. Listen to the numbers coming out of Macau right now. Listen to what the cruise line operators are telling you. Listen to what the airline companies are telling you. It's a red hot sector, and I mean as red hot gets. And to see some of this stuff when the sector is about as good as it gets is a little worrisome, okay? Then on top of that, right? Disney ramps up spending in California amid, obviously, the battle with DeSantis. And I'm just looking at all that, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Do I really want to build Disney into a big position? And the more I've looked at it, the more I'm like, I'm not so sure. It looks like a steal deal. The stock's $88. But I have a lot of concerns on so many fronts that I'm not sure if this is one I actually want to buy the dip on. And maybe it's one of those I'm just like, I think there's better places to put my money. And that's kind of where I'm leaning to. So I might sell that $800 of Disney at some point in time and might focus on another stock rather than Disney, just because I don't know if I want to get in the middle of all that crap, man. When you're talking about this big old legal battle with one of the potential presidential candidates, when you're talking about, everything that's going, I don't know, man. The parks being slower than expected, like all this stuff. Plus, they got a mess on the TV network side. I'm like, I don't know about this. So anyways, Disney, I don't know about that, okay? Tesla price target hiked to $265 at Jefferies. Auto gross margins likely troughed in Q2. The Tesla price hike train on Wall Street rolls on, with analyst after analyst trying to keep up. The latest to hop on is Jefferies analyst Felipe, who bumped up the firm's price target on Monday to $265 from $185. Though the new price target was 3% below Tesla's opening share price. I always love that, okay? You up your price target in a substantial way, but it's below whatever, the stock's actually trading at a particular time. Cracks me up, okay? Though the price hike followed a number of analysts who moved their targets higher in the wake of Tesla's strong Q2 deliveries report last week. Tesla reported Q2 global production. We know that numbers and whatnot, right? But the bottom line is in relation to this, right? We join a consensus view that Q2 will be a trough in auto gross margins. Adding, Jefferies noted a shift in valuation drivers, notably based Tesla's lead in AI-based self-driving software. The themes of of gross margins bottoming out and the realization of AI was fueling Tesla's recent run-up. And also noted Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, through those banks as well as Jefferies, feel the re-rating of the stock in those themes is unwarranted at this time. So, what do I feel about margins? Do I think margins have troughed now at this point in time and they're going to get better in future quarters, meaning, Q3, Q4, in 2024, obviously? My opinion on that is yes, as long as the economy stays decent. If the economy was to go into a major recession or something, I think you throw out whatever you're expecting margins to be. It's a possibility. Elon and the management team could definitely decide to obviously just continue to capture market share if there's a major recession. Assuming the economy stays decent, especially if it strengthens, I expect Tesla, if anything, to actually raise price of vehicles while cost is still coming down, and them to actually get in a much stronger margin position and expand margins rapidly. Also, we do have to acknowledge Cybertruck's coming to market. Cybertruck could be a drag on margins for the next, depends on when they go into some sort of real production. Could be a drag on margins for 2 to 4 quarters, the first 2 to 4 quarters of production. But after you get through that 2 to 4 quarter kind of time frame, I think Cybertruck's going to be a huge boost up for margin. Pickup trucks just historically do very, very well margins-wise, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cybertruck's the highest margin vehicle for Tesla very shortly after it launches nonetheless. So yeah, I will agree with that, okay? I definitely had a lot of people, kind of asking me about these MJ stocks, okay? The Planet is a good example. Avant's a good example, okay? So let me talk about those, okay? So first thing is, if you've been watching these stock prices of these stocks, they're showing, in my opinion, a kind of like a bottoming out type formation here with these stock prices. I've been kind of watching them for the past month. I personally believe stocks like Avant, Planet, if there's any other good quality MJ players, which there might be 1 or 2 others, there's not that many high quality players in this space, I think they'll actually start to show quite a bit of momentum in the back half of this year and as we go into 2024. That is my personal opinion on that. Now, a lot of people are looking at the space in general, and they don't like the presidential candidates that we're likely going to have to choose from, right? Because it looks like we're going to have likely B-Man, T-Man, and DeSantis, okay? Those look, as of today, like the 3 possibilities. And I don't think the market likes any of those 3. But with that being said, I think a lot of these stocks have already kind of bottomed out. And so I think they'll likely start to see momentum, my personal opinion, in the back half of this year. I think the market has kind of bottomed those stocks out in terms of stock prices and in terms of kind of pricing around the actual product. And so we'll see what happens. But my opinion is they'll probably start to show strength in the back half of this year and as we go into 2024, despite the presidential situation, which obviously that's not really a positive. And there's other folks in government that hold key positions that have big weight, that are trying to push things through. I know a lot of people don't like AOC, okay? But at the end of the day, I think AOC and some of her friends are trying to push some stuff in on this side. And so, she's actually grown a lot in influence over the last few years, especially because her social media following is one of the biggest you'll find for any politician out there in general, right? So we'll see what happens. That's my opinion. I think these stocks will start to show strength in the back half of this year and then going into 2024. So with that being said, I can't really put more money in these stocks right now. I already have a lot of shares of these stocks. I have so many Avant shares, it's coming out of my ears, okay? And so many Planet shares. So where I'm at with these is I'm waiting for profitability. When they hit profitability, I'll be happy to continue to buy shares. But, with how much I had put into unprofitable stocks, especially in like 2021, in the very beginning of 22, I'm at that moment in time where I'm just kind of like, show me profitability, then we can talk. So that's my opinion on kind of those MJ type stocks, okay?